Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today. I am Vasuki Iyengar, a member of Solid Waste Management Roundtable. I am actually going to speak about the agenda for today. Thank you very much for being on this show today on a Sunday morning. We have Anu Govind, member of Solid Waste Management Roundtable, hosting this program. We have actually Wilma Rodriguez from Sahas Zero Waste, live from the MRF, Material Recovery Facility that is managed by Sahas in Bangalore. She is going to actually talk about MRF and how it all started. And then there is a presentation on MRF, Material Recovery Facility. There is a tour of MRF. And then we are also going to talk about the technology that is used in MRF. It is something that is actually state of the art and something that we should be proud of that it is available in Bangalore. And then there will be a impact demonstration. What is the impact of having a MRF? And the Naveen and Arun are going to actually talk about that. Then we are going to also meet some of the staff members at MRF. And then finally, we're going to have a question and answer session. So again, welcoming you all to this very exciting program hosted by Solid Waste Management Roundtable. We are live on SWMRT YouTube channel. And over to now Wilma to talk about MRF. Wilma, thank you for coming on a Sunday and doing this. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Asuki, and good morning. Really nice to have people join us on a Sunday morning to understand the intricacies and the intensities of how dry waste is managed. So this is outside our MRF. It's a little rainy, it's a little drizzling, but there is so much of waste inside. And so therefore, I thought I should start with bringing attention to the fact that, really our cities, our country needs us to reduce waste as the first step. So today, when you see all of this waste, I do hope we understand the reasons why reduce is so important. And we really now need to reduce big time. We need to go beyond just carrying our shopping bags, which is anyway a given. We need to now push back on as much of single-use items, whether paper or plastic, as possible. So whether we can push back on takeaways, which give us all that single-use items, whether we can move back to carrying our own mugs, etc. When we need to have coffee, so there's no paper cups being used. So I hope this tour and this understanding and this message that we will bring to you this morning will bring a realization of the first step of waste management, and that is to reduce. So come, let's go into the MRF. I'd like to introduce you to some of our team, introduce you to the work that we do. Namaskara, good morning. Hi, Arun. Good morning. So this is Arun. Arun is our regional director. He spent 5 years with Sahas, and before that with Sahas Zero Waste, and before that had an intensive experience with waste. And I think he's been the anchor for us here with the MRF, with our dry waste management system. So Arun, over to you.
Thank you. I'll switch over to the other laptop. Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the virtual tour of the MRF. Today, we're going to be talking to you about a middle section of a supply chain of the waste that comes out of everyone's house. So you may be wondering where the waste goes from the bin and from your house when waste gets collected by various different entities, different stakeholders in the supply chain. And we're here to show you what happens after it reaches a ward level collection center. And last week, it was a true demonstration of how Bangalore has been very successful in setting up ward level collection centers through the DWCCs. We were able to understand how those centers are operated. So that's the first step of where the waste ends up from your doorsteps. We then come to the concept of aggregation. So MRF, I'm pretty sure everyone's heard about tires, etc., but this is a different kind of an MRF. It's what we call a materials recovery facility. And the materials recovery facility is a place of aggregation where waste gets collected and transforms into resources, to be very honest. So at the dry waste collection centers, you would have one level of sorting. Similarly, at this kind of an aggregation facility, you will have the next level of sorting of waste, where waste is sorted into many different categories. So here is a quick presentation of what we are about as a company and how we actually started this journey with the MRF. So we're a social enterprise, we're a private limited company. And I'm saying this because we want to demonstrate that it is an industry. Waste management is an industry. And going forward, there is a lot of focus around how to get it more sustainable and end-to-end as well. This is something about our company. We have 3 different verticals. We have what we call the zero waste program. We also have something very interesting called as the extended producer's responsibility. And even more interesting, we have something, we have a department which operates, recycled products. So we move products we create products from waste. And that's what this department is all about. I'm just going to pause here. Just give me 1 second, if you don't mind. Let's proceed. So this has been our journey. We started as an NGO in 2001, and the private limited entity came into establishment in 2013. And the materials recovery facility was set up 4 years back in 2017. And we've come a very long way in this particular journey. So this is what the MRF is all about. It's a 10,000 square feet facility in Jigni in Bangalore. We run 2 shifts per day, and it's spread across, sorry, I mentioned 10,000 square feet, but we manage around 10 tons of dry waste on a daily basis. So this is a very decentralized model. And in my opinion, this kind of a decentralized model will fit for something like 10 wards. And to bring perspective, Bangalore has 200 wards approximately. Similarly, if you take the rural state of Karnataka, this kind of a facility will help solve the problems of dry waste across 30 different gram panchayats. The reason being they're more scattered across. But this kind of a model, a decentralized model, is very, very ideal for urban and for rural, and could be the silver bullet for waste management going forward as well. So what's so great about the MRF? What are the USPs? So I mentioned about decentralized. We've heard a lot about go local. We've heard a lot about green buildings where resources and raw materials from within the community is used for more development. So this is how we look at waste management as well in a decentralized manner. The waste need not go too far. It can be converted to resource within that particular premise itself. What is also important is we started this tracking of waste through technology quite some time back. Back in 2016, we invested in a tech team internally who were able to develop very customized solutions for our requirements. And now that has progressed into cutting edge technology like blockchain in waste management, where you can actually trace waste from the source till the destination. So you're able to track the waste end to end. And that's one of the most important things. The reason being that data today is not available around waste. You need to understand waste, you need data around waste. Also, this concept of aggregation, it helps a lot in terms of getting the quality of waste that you have to supply to recycling, or else recycling is not going to be possible, right? So we have highly trained people within this facility who, and you're going to see a virtual tour of that as well. And most importantly, these people are from the base of the pyramid. Sometimes they're single mothers who are, who single breadwinners for the family, etc. Who actually, and this kind of a setup has helped create livelihoods and a depth of impact as well, because it's just not them. It's in fact brought in predictable income for them and their family, and it's helping them even build the future of their next generations as well. So there's a lot of depth in terms of the impact we've created through livelihood in this kind of a setup. And as this decentralized model scales up, so will the impact as well. Most importantly, in waste management, there is that social stigma. But our field staff are very proud about working at an organization like Saha Zero Waste and in a waste management facility like our MRF. The reason being, the best standards are provided to them, hygiene-wise, safety-wise, and in all possible compliance as well, labor compliances and environmental compliances as well. So this is one important aspect where their health is taken care of, and there is so much more benefit by bringing in better health to our field staff as well. Also, our fleet is very automated. We have a very good fleet management system, and you will see how this works like clockwork. And also in waste management, it's very well known that there are pilferages, and this kind of a system can help reduce pilferages, which obviously helps with better commercial viability and operational success of these kind of facilities. So very simple checklist to go through. These things are sometimes forgotten. Are the sheds of waste workers waterproof, leak proof? We don't know. I don't think so. But then, when you bring up these kind of very well compliant system, which is well lit, well ventilated, rodent free, insect free, hygienic, etc., it's quite a big deal at the end of the day, and it's not so small as well. And again, we have a very good factory setup, a factory kind of environment around waste management, and that you're going to observe today at our materials recovery facility, where we follow processes, we follow SOPs in order to be able to operate this kind of facility at the best possible way. And last but not the least, we have a larger framework to follow as well through the UNDP's, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And you can see here, we actually cater to 5 such SDGs through no poverty, gender equality, all our field staff, men, women, get paid equal, good job opportunities across the company, not just at the base of the pyramid, but also for the very highly skilled people as well. Responsible consumption, because we really look at resource recovery as the key to waste management. Get maximum resources from your waste. And finally, this has a very big impact on climate action, which is very heavily spoken about and is the need of the hour currently. So now we're going to start the virtual tour, where you'll actually see the process waste will follow from from when it comes in to when it goes out of the facility. Let me try and take you on this tour with the help of my colleague, Naveen.
Thank you so much for that broad overview, Arun, and definitely looking forward to the tour. Arun, you are on mute. Arun, Adarsh.
Sorry about that slight glitch. Are we back on Spotlight?
Not yet. Actually, Arun, you need to stop sharing the presentation. Then only this will come on Spotlight.
Yeah. Okay, sorry about that small glitch. We're just getting used to this virtual life, to be very honest. So I'm here at the materials recovery facility, and you can see a lot of activity and bustling behind me. Let's go and see what they're up to. Huh? Came through then gate 1, which is the entrance of the facility where the material is inwarded. And I'm going to hand you over to Naveen, who is our field supervisor on the ground at the MRF. Naveen? Yeah. So would like you to meet Naveen. He's a graduate and he sees his career in waste management through us. And I'm going to allow him to explain to you how he manages the materials recovery facility on a daily basis. Hello everyone, myself Naveen. I'm project coordinator at MRF. I am here to take you through a virtual tour of MRF. Initially, yeah, waste will come from the client location. The most important part of is collection, waste collection. We collect the waste from our client locations, waste workers, and municipalities. So we put a lot of effort in getting the sorted waste from sorted waste to MRF. We have more than 30 to 40 clients in Bengaluru region. Out of it, we deployed 20 more our MRF staff in more than 20 locations where the material is completely get sorted and it will come to MRF. And the sorted material, the material will be get unloaded. The material will be get unloaded. The payment is done in a way bridge while the vehicle is on the way to MRF. And it is moved to the storage area where the unsorted dry waste is kept. Wait करो. वो लेके wait करो. And it is weighed in a weighing scale where the weighing scale is connected to the IoT where the data is got captured automatically. It is connected to the MI system. And here whatever the weight, the material is fed into the inclined conveyor. Here one first round of inspection is done. If any metal or any sharp objects, whatever he finds, that he is to pick here only. Metals, glass bottles, any other kind of any hard metals can be picked here only while feeding. And this unsorted dry waste is moved on the top through inclined conveyor and fallen on this flat conveyor where the sorting is done. The importance of sorting is in order to recycle, the sorting is very important because if the metal is not sorted or mixed with other metals, it cannot be recycled. So the recycling sorting is very important. We have more than 30 in the unsorted waste. We are sorting 30 to 35 categories of categories in unsorted dry waste. like carton boxes, paper cups, color paper, tetra pack, plastic, glass bottles, coconut shells, milk pouches, etc. Yeah. And here you can get, there are three categories of waste we will get. One recyclable material, non-recyclable materials, and rejects, which we send it for landfill. Of 100%, there are 91%, 91 to 92% of the material is recyclable material. 6% is non-recyclable material, which we send it for co-processing, and 2 to 2.5% is reject, which will send for landfill and use it is used as compost. Yeah. You can see the staffs are each staff is trained during before starting the work. So joining, each staff picks 5 to 6 category of material. They are well trained, and you can see we have all lady staff and men staff working together. Only recyclable material will be sorted on the top, and non-recyclable material will be left down, where it will be packed and weighed, and it send it to uh, send it for co-processing like MSCP. Then while sorting, while you are sorting unsorted dry waste, we will get some quantity of mixed plastic. Those mixed plastic is once again sorted into different categories. In the mixed plastic, we have around 25 to 30 categories that we will sort in the other conveyor. Now you are seeing this is the HDPE. We are sorting HDPE, where these bottles can be sorted, processed, recycled, and can be made into again as bottles only. Then what? All the sorted material will be moved to storage area, sorted material storage area behind the baling machine. Here you can see properly. This is our all the sorted material. Daily we are sorting per 150 kg per staff in a shift. All the sorted material gets stored here. And as I explained before, the non-recyclable material will be fallen on downside. Only recyclable material will be picked on the top. And the sorted material will be moved for baling. Moved to baling. And here, yeah, and here baling process. Here the whatever feeding is done and compression is done, and so that the volume of the material is got reduced, so that we can where we can like transportation, we can save our transportation, we can send more material in a truck, and we can save transportation cost. We have two baling machines at MRF. One is paper baling machine, which is a tin pallet, and another one is a plastic baling machine, which can be used for only doing the plastic baling. Sorry. This I will explain the baling process. Here you can see two pallets are there. This is a tin pallet baling machine. On the other pallet, the feeding is done, and here which is already fed, in that compression happens. Very, yeah. See the compression. I was take from that. The belly got completely compressed.
Naveen, actually try to stay close to the phone as much as possible because there is a voice breaking.
Now the belly. Now the belly is ready, and just we'll remove it. We'll remove it and we'll move it to the base storage area. And here you can see this is the base storage area where all the bellied material will be moved to this place. You can see LVP, LDPE, duplex, color paper, paper cup, carton boxes, PET, PP material, polypropylene. Uh, as I told, in plastic we have 25 to 30 categories, and in dry waste we have 30 to 35 categories. So all the parent material will be stored here. So color paper, duplex, paper cup, tetra pack, color paper, PET, PP, product, HDPE, and this baled material will be and this baled material will be moved for loading, uh, moved through we have and polish and stacker. It is moved to the vehicle. The dates are moved to a recycler only for authorized recycler, where the uh, we are we are working with more than 30 to 35 recyclers across India, pan India.
That was a wonderful tour of the facility.
Thank you, Naveen. Thanks for the tour. So we're also trying to get used to this virtual way of communicating to everyone. So please bear with us.
Just a second.
So
1 second.
if I can just summarize on what Naveen has just demonstrated to you, we have a very bustling materials recovery facility with a lot of action, and it's very, very intense when you look at the work that goes on behind the scenes. So right from when the waste enters to the data capture that happens, with the waste, we have good technologies to be able to capture the waste, capture the data around the waste, and also to be able to interpret it, to analyze the data. And you can see how by use of very simple mechanization, we've been able to improve on the efficiency of sorting as well compared to manual sorting. At the aggregation center, the sorting is better efficient, and we reach up to 150 kgs per person per shift. This can further increase, and we're working on such mechanization to be able to further improve efficiencies, to be able to assist manpower to be able to sort more waste and to recover more waste. And by doing that, we're able to collect the waste in the right form and compress it into bales, and then further dispatch it to the recyclers in the way they require. So it is very important to tie up the supply and the demand. When you're looking at the recycling factories, they need waste in a particular form so they can have best efficient recovery of waste. And we are able to provide that because we are that single entity in the entire supply chain through aggregation. We're able to train our staff accordingly and able to deliver the right quality of material to the recyclers. I want to share with you a few things that we've developed in-house in the form of technology interventions. And I have a quick presentation to be able to show, to be able to demonstrate this aspect. So we believe that technology is an enabler in waste management. And I want to make it very clear that technology cannot solve issues around waste management. It can help us solve issues around waste management. And I say this because we have been adopting so many different types of technologies at different levels of intervention. One such similar thing is our own customized MIS system. So we started on this journey back in 2016, where we're able to provide to the customer very live data of the waste that we're managing on their behalf. You can see on the right side, these are some of the apps that we have created for our own requirement. We have apps for our HR management because we have around 250 field staff on site in different parts of southern India, in different cities across different locations. So we manage all of them and the HR associated matters through our apps. You can see we have fleet management systems through GPS tracking on our apps itself. And you can see we have specific apps for the MRF. We also have a very elaborate e-waste EPR system. So you can see that we've created apps, and we've created apps even for booking lunch in our office. We have someone who comes and cooks for us in our office, which is more like a home environment, to be very honest. And we actually have created our own app for even doing that. So you're able to see that at every possible level of intervention, we have our own IT team who are able to utilize this technology called Zoho. And we're able to develop our own apps on Zoho itself to be able to go about doing our everyday activities in a more efficient way, in a more professional way. And this is where waste management is heading going forward as well. Similarly, the next level of using our MIS will be traceability. Now, why is traceability important? We speak about traceability, and there are lots of questions around why do you need something very intense as much as blockchain to be able to trace material? To be very honest, I believe that everyone has to own their waste, and they have to take ownership of the waste right to the end. It's just not out of their backyard. So there is this syndrome called as the NIMBY syndrome, not in my backyard, anyone else's backyard. That's not going to happen anymore. Going forward, everyone will be held responsible for the waste that they've generated. And for you to be able to trace that entire journey where waste becomes resources, these kind of softwares will be going forward very, very, very essential. And we have tied up with a tech partner through Chainflux, who started the journey very long time back with our organization as an intern. Now he's having his own startup, this gentleman called Abhinav. And we now have our very dedicated traceability platform called Tracer, where we are able to demonstrate through a lot of documentation, trail of documentation, that this particular waste has ended up getting converted to this resource. We're adding the next level of traceability where the waste can be converted to recycled products thanks to our recycled products department. For instance, MLP, which is your laminates, your kurkure packets, as it's typically called, that waste which comes from your household comes to our materials recovery facility, gets sorted, gets baled, and gets sent off to a particular reprocessor who makes boards out of it. And the very office that I'm sitting in, the cabin that I'm sitting in, is made from that same material. So this particular board can then be brought back, made as a bench, and put in a park outside your house. So you can actually trace that waste right from your hands when you ate that bag of crisps, right to this, the seat that the bench that you're sitting on as well. So that's the future of waste management that we perceive. That's the vision that we have at Saahas Zero Waste for a very traceable future. And we demonstrated in our facility as well the usage of IoT, Internet of Things. So I'll give you a typical example. All the waste that comes into the facility will get weighed at a weighbridge outside the facility. That's the first level of data capture. The second level of data capture is when each bag is weighed before it gets sorted. And it is tagged onto our MIS system automatically, just at the press of a button. So again, IoT becomes very, very helpful. But there are other challenges that we want to address as well. I'll give you a typical example with plastics. Take a typical plastic that is available in your house. Have a look at the bottom of the plastic. You will see a triangle. Don't get fooled for a recycling triangle. It's just a triangle, in my opinion, with a number behind it. How does an unskilled base of the pyramid staff, how are they capable of identifying this plastic? They've evolved in a very nice way where they actually tap the plastic, they press the plastic, they actually feel the plastic, and they are able to sort it. But going forward, that's becoming more and more of a challenge because the packaging industry is evolving. You know, a lot of packaging companies have, a lot of FMCG companies especially have given their sustainability commitments for 2030. And it is evolving into a stage where people are not able to understand this as well. So we are using state-of-the-art machine learning solutions and robotics. As you can see, we have partnered with another startup, fresh, from institutions who want to solve problems in waste management. This particular startup is called Wing Labs, and they have demonstrated good solutions by being able to trace. So this particular image on the left side that you can see, though this bottle looks pink, this bottle could be white inside. It's unfortunately because of the stickering that goes on, the labeling and the marketing that goes on through the labeling, which does not allow human intervention to be able to identify, but we can train systems to be able to identify it. I want to have a reminder here that this is only an enabler. It is not going to displace people. The moment I say robotics, probably there are lots of questions around it, but this is an additional value-added process that we are going to bring in at the facility, which is going to only assist manpower to be able to be more efficient, to be able to be more accurate. So that's the whole purpose of robotics as well. So these are some of the technologies that we've been working on. And most importantly, to finish it off, we also use technology. We also use a lot of methodologies, a lot of algorithms to be able to measure our impact. So we use what's called the impact value chain, using the theory of change principle to be able to align all our operations to the sustainable development goals. We are a part of UNDP's business call to action, where businesses can create and elevate intended impact. So this is a quick introduction of what we do with technology at our facility. And most of you will be really surprised to see that this much of technology intervention is possible even in waste management. Quickly moving on, we'll move on to the next topic, which is following up from this previous slide of impact management. This is the kind of impact that we have created at our organization. We are very proud that at the end of the day, after all of us have completed our jobs, it's a very satisfactory feeling that we have diverted a lot of waste from going to the landfill. And last year, we managed to divert 25,000 tons of waste. And when I say 25,000 tons, you can multiply that by another 1,000 to get in terms of kgs, then you can understand the scale of it. It's still not there. We still have to scale up at a very long way, and we need support and we need more visibility through sessions like these for you to understand the complexity around waste management, and for you to understand that if you don't pay to manage your waste as a service fee, it cannot be managed the right way. So we're appealing out there to say that, you know, it costs money and it's a very intensive process to manage waste. We have 157 staff, base of the pyramid on the ground. And as a company, we are 250 staff, including all the executives. We're very high on governance. We are present in more than 50 cities across India, across all zones of India. We have managed, out of this 25,000 tons, 19,000 tons is dry waste. The rest will be wet waste. So we have a very comprehensive outlook in the way we manage waste. And we're very proud to say that 96% of the waste last year that we managed was recovered into resources. The remaining 4% went to landfill, as against what you actually see out here in reality, where majority of the waste actually ends up in landfill. It's probably 90 or maybe even, so maybe not 90, maybe slightly less, but a lot of the waste ends up in landfill. So this is the kind of impact that we generate. And just another specific that we would like to point out as well. 4 SDGs have been identified through this particular circular economy that we're trying to achieve, where 85% of the waste is actually recycled or co-processed as well. And in terms of greenhouse gases, that equates to around 68,000 CO2 emissions. We also want to focus around, so there are two types of impact. One is environmental and the other is social impact. We've already spoken about this. 95% of our job holders have improved livelihoods through this particular initiative that we've taken at Saahas Zero Waste through our regular business. And this is through some surveys that we conduct on a regular basis as well to be able to monitor the impact that we create. Also, something very interesting is 100% of the job holders have access to social security benefits, which is sometimes just forgotten. And that is something which is very important as well. I would like to identify over here the difference between formal and informal. We have observed, and unfortunately during this pandemic time, a lot of waste workers have been hit. But we're very proud to say that all the staff that we have been who's been working with us, have not actually had that big of a hit. 100% of the job holders continue to receive timely payments, predictable income during this lockdown period as well. And beyond that, support was provided to them as well. So these are some of the benefits which we don't realize of being formal, and that's the way going forward as well. So there ends my discussion, and I'll hand it over to Adarsh for some interesting conversations with some of our field staff to be able to demonstrate the kind of impact that they have created.
Okay, Naveen, before that, actually, I think we would. Adarsh,
so hello everyone, good morning. So in continuation with the technology and impact, I thought I will introduce you to the people who are working on ground. So we have, it's on mute, unmuted.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So sorry for the glitch, but yeah. So we have here Indra Prasad, and we will ask a few questions from him and see. Yeah. So Indra Prasad, how long have you been working here? आप यहाँ पे कितने साल से काम कर रहे हैं?
Already 4 साल से 5 साल हो रहा है सर. Already 4 साल से 5 साल चालू हो रहा है सर.
अच्छा, ओके. तो आप यहाँ पे कौन सा काम करते हैं? What is the work that you do here?
Segregation और baling, loading.
Okay. So आप यहाँ पे 5 साल से काम कर रहे हैं. You have been working here for 5 years. What is the reason that you have stayed here for 5 years? आप क्यों इतने साल यहाँ पे रुके? आप इतने साल से क्यों यहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं?
ये कोई घर का परिश्रम, कोई प्रॉब्लम से काम कर रहा हूँ. जब 2 पैसे के लिए कर रहा हूँ.
और आपको कंपनी के बारे में क्या कहना है?
कंपनी का बारे में क्या है, जो जीरो वेस्ट है ना, वो जीरो वेस्ट को हम लोग लेके वो जीरो वेस्ट आता है ना, डाई वेस्ट, उसको सेग्रीगेशन के करके डिवाइड करके वो उसको बेलिंग में देते हैं. बेलिंग में दे के बेल करता है. बेलिंग वाला बेल करके लोडिंग स्टॉक कर देते हैं. स्टॉक करने के बाद वो बेलिंग जमा करते हैं. जमा करने के बाद वो लोडिंग में चला जाते हैं. ये सब.
तो आपको यहाँ काम करने में अच्छा लगता है? आपको अपना काम पसंद है?
पसंद है सर, पूरा पसंद, पूरा.
Okay, so here was Indra Prasad, and so we will proceed further with the conclusion, and we will take few of your questions. Yes. You will have to be there, no, to attend the questions. Yeah. Mic is off, no? Video is off, no?
Yeah. Thank you, Adarsh, for interviewing.
So thanks, Adarsh. Maybe we can open up the floor for any questions. Anu,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
there any questions?
Yeah, we'll do that. One second.
Naveen, do you hear us, and do you hear Anu? Anu is going to actually ask questions on behalf of the questions that has come on YouTube. Anu,
Sure.
please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks, the Saahas team. Arun, I think that was a wonderful presentation. We know about it, but still to really see the amount of technology and all this is really wonderful to do that. So what we're going to do actually is a couple of questions that, we'll ask. And I think there are some, questions that have come up, and I will also be asking some questions. So when you say the amount of sorting that happens here and, recyclable, non-recyclable, so that is going for co-processing, right? Otherwise, these recyclable materials are going to a vendor. And what is the kind of volumes that you need to, to collect to send it to a recycler? We understand, we saw those vehicles are pretty big. What is the kind of volumes we're talking about there that need to be collected and then sent to it to make it an economic or a viable case?
Yes, that's a very important question to answer, to be very honest. Let me explain that our process is fine-tuned to recover as much into recycling and reprocessing as much as possible. The last resort would be co-processing, and the unfortunate solution would be waste management, landfill. So we would like to avoid landfill. We would like to move from landfill to co-processing, but the objective always is to move from co-processing to recycling, and we're doing that as well. We're currently sending non-recyclable MLP to recycling. So you will be happy to hear that. And going forward, we're going to increase that scale as well. So the other point over here, why aggregation? You have to send one full truckload to recycling. And coming to the question, there can be 3 different sizes of trucks we can actually place to go to recyclers. One could be in the 10-ton region, 9 to 10 tons. So that's 9,000 to 10,000 kgs in one particular truck. The other size, the next size of truck available is a 16-ton payload. And then after that, there's a 22-ton payload. So there have been some situations where the recyclers is 2 kilometers away from our factory. So we actually use the 9-ton vehicle. There is a situation where the recycler ITC, for example, is in Tamil Nadu. So we have to send it in a 10-ton vehicle, which is also optimal. Sometimes, you won't believe this, but sometimes Tetra Pak goes all the way to Uttarakhand. And we then have to use a 22-ton vehicle and make sure that the payload of the vehicle is fully met to minimize the transportation cost. So that's the kind of sizes of vehicles that we use from an aggregation center. So these are very large trucks sometimes.
Right. So that means the facility should have the ability to store that 9 tons in addition to the incoming, to store it before it is really going out. And again, if I understand right, this is for, let's say, each recycler, that stream of waste, right? So it's like so many of those different categories, you still need that. So that's, yes, I think, a very, very important thing that needs to be considered while designing. It's not that the sorting space, it needs that ability to store, and it's got to be stored properly, correctly, without getting wet, without getting all this. And I think that's an important aspect which very often tends to get missed out when we talk about space for facilities. There's another question that has come up saying, okay, about what is the average salary of a worker who kind of works in this facility? What are we talking about? What range are we talking about the facility and the benefits of the staff that you're talking here?
Yes, so our factory is registered under the Factories Act. And as per the Factories Act, there are 3 classifications of staff: unskilled, semi-skilled, and skilled. So the salaries can range anywhere between 16,500 up to 19,000 rupees per month CTC for the entry-level staff that we have. And then the supervisors, etc., their salaries will be above and beyond that.
And okay, that's really nice too. And I think what you also emphasized is that even during these tough times and all that, there is this whole thing of, you're surely going to get your pay and you don't have to worry about it, whether the waste, there may be some challenges in the waste itself flowing out, but I think, it's important and to recognize that it's really needed, this kind of a system, so that they're short of their salary. Yes. Another question is that when we talk about, I think, the quality of, the waste that comes in, we understand segregation is important. And I mean, there's no question about it. What about the quality of dry waste that comes in? I mean, we know that you have to clean it. It has to be in a good quality. It's only then there is this recyclable value. We have this food packets or things with the thing comes in. How important is it in this whole process to ensure quality as well as recyclability?
It is extremely important. And I like the saying that goes, once it's mixed, it can't be fixed. And when I'm saying mixing, don't mix your dry waste and your wet waste. What you're seeing here in this particular facility is what I call the back end. There is a front end to this, and we actually have a lot of hardworking field staff, a lot of coordinators and project managers who are talking to our clients not to mix the waste in the bin itself. So segregation at source has become a way of life for our clients, and that is so essential for us to get the two streams, especially separate the dry waste and the wet waste, because once the inorganic and the organic waste mix ups, you cannot recover resources from the waste. And I'll give you do not wipe off the curry from your plate using a tissue paper, because that tissue paper is wasted at the end of the day. Wash it off, keep the tissue paper separately. So if that's not done, and our entire facility cannot operate in a hygienic manner and able to recover all the resources. So it's very, very essential that segregation at source happens. And it's been a very long effort and a hard fought battle for us to be able to achieve segregation at source, which is possible. We've seen it, and now we have to make this happen at scale.
Right. So I agree, segregation, but I'm talking about even the quality of the dry waste itself, right? Let's say the teacup with the chai or the juice with the juice. Isn't that also a big problem once it comes to a facility like this? So, sorting itself, but the food also contamination is reducing the quality of the recyclability of the product itself, right?
Sure. So, we tend not to be able to, we tend to avoid bringing in such material into our facility and solving it at the site. But then if it comes to our facility, we will keep it aside. And you are right, that material, let's say plastic, right? So you take a bottle of ketchup, that's HDP bottle, low grade HDP. But then the ketchup inside spoils it. So that when we sell it to the recyclers, they're very reluctant to buy it. Right. So rinsing it off before you drop it into the bin is very helpful. But what we tend to do is, even then, when it comes to our facility, we keep it aside and we actually give it to a recycler at a lower price. So that's unfortunately a loss in the entire operational aspect of the MRF. But this, we're facing this challenge, and we're trying to work with the recycler on this aspect. But yeah, that definitely brings down the value of the waste if there is some content inside the waste, organic contents.
So I think it's important to really be cognizant of this, the quality and the before we send it out. And the other question that we were also wondering is the amount of technology. I mean, that's fantastic to really see that how you're able to trace, you're able to weigh, and simple things like this can really help and, efficiency of it. What was the kind of let's say improve efficiency you talked about, the having this conveyor? Can you give us some number or something of how much percentage of efficiency it is compared to a normal manual sorting, or not having this able to data, some kind of a number of improving the efficiency that you can can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So when you actually manually sort waste by hand without the use of mechanization like the conveyor, you are able to hit a maximum of 80 kgs per person per 8-hour shift. That's probably the maximum we can reach. And that is only if the waste is good quality. If it is very soil, it's even more difficult. That's the best case scenario. But here, as a worst case scenario, we are able to get anywhere around, depending on the material type, if it's plastic or if it's dry waste, between 120 to 150. So that's 2x of what we used to get earlier. Now, we've been through this journey. The MRF has come just 4 years, but then we're we've been working in waste management. And earlier, it never used to be this high. Now we've come to the next level. We're still aiming to reach the next level where we can hit the 200 kg per person, etc., by bringing in certain more mechanization, which is happening. We're partnering with the government of Karnataka to be able to set up many such facilities across the state government of Karnataka, where that level of mechanization will be achieved. And we will hit that 200 kgs per person, hopefully going forward.
That's wonderful. So that's really double the efficiency that you're talking about, and the convenience and the ease with which they can also work. I think so. It solves both efficiency for the organization as well as convenience, improving for the staff who's working on it. So I think so those were some of the questions that I think came up and we had. And I think from our side, it's wonderful that we really got to see. I know Anjigni is a little far away for us in Bangalore. All of us wanted to visit it, but this is a thanks to technology advantage, disadvantage. We really got to visit and really hear the complete story, and for this whole tour. And all of you, thank you so much for taking time off and coming on a Sunday and accommodating this session. Thank you so much to all of you, to all the staff. Do convey our thanks, and we are very grateful to them. And we hope this message goes out to many more, and this will be available on YouTube. And Vasuki, would you like to?
Yes, yeah, Naveen, thank you so much. It was very nice to hear Naveen and Adarsh, many youngsters who are actually part of, Sahas, and the demo, the preparation for it. Actually, they made sure that, the vehicle comes in, they showed us the end to end, how it arrives and how it goes out. Awesome demo that was actually arranged, and thank you so much. And thanks to you and Wilma for coming on a Sunday, driving all the way to Jigni, and then doing this. But I do have one question though. I think it's if you can actually, I have heard about Sahas Udupi, the amazing work that is going on over there, and other parts of, and also you have a franchisee model where you also train, and provide MRF technology. Can you please talk about that, please?
Yes, this is one of the most exciting projects that we are yet to venture into at Saha Zero Waste. We actually have tied up with the government to be able to provide consultancy services, and we will have a lot more such facilities, MRFs, like the one we have in Jigni. This is our own facility for our clients, and this will be available all across Karnataka, rural and urban put together. And we really look forward in the next 2 to 3 years to scale up this kind of a model very quickly. We also have other programs, smaller programs, micro-entrepreneurial programs, where we actually bring on board waste workers, and it's called the social inclusion model. We have a dedicated team around it to be able to establish more waste workers into this kind of an operation, like the Naveens and the other people that you saw today. There will be many more waste workers taking that form and shape in this industry going forward. And we would love to share our learnings and our methodologies to be able to scale up this kind of a system, because this is the need of the hour. We have proven that decentralized works, and it's going to bring a lot of localized benefits, not only just social, but also environmental impact. Just before I leave, we have a very nice message from all our field staff here at the MRF for all of you out there. And just before that, we have some comments from our founder, CEO, Wilma Rodriguez as well. I'd like to quickly, I know we're over time, but we'd like to quickly hand it over to Adarsh once more for a final sort of a comment.
No problem. We have a few minutes. We can carry on. No problem. Please.
Adarsh, up to you.
Buddy, for having stayed with us. And yeah, I just like to again bring attention to what we started out talking about, reduce. And I hope now that there is enough of awareness for people to understand the importance of reduce. So coming back to that as a message, and it's not just about awareness, it's about behavior change. So from awareness, we need to reduce our waste. And of course, whatever waste is generated, we hope that we will continue to work in this space so that we can become a zero waste society. So then, yes. So our team wants to echo the same message.
Yes, for all the listeners, thank you for joining in on a Sunday. But most importantly, as a conclusion, the entire field staff over here have a challenge for you. Do you have the sahas to go? Zero waste! Thank you so much, and believe in zero waste, believe in decentralized. That's it, signing off from the MRF in Jigni. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You got the photo?
Yeah.